You guys good back there? Arlo, you good? So in Norway, over 75% of new car sales are electric vehicles. I found out why and previously explained this in a video which I'm going to link up at the top here. But this means that even the taxis are typically electric in Norway, which introduces some interesting challenges and benefits. As we left Oslo to take the overnight ferry to Copenhagen, we booked a taxi and were surprised to see that it was a Volkswagen ID.4. We took a ride with our driver from our apartment down to the ferry terminal and talked about the pros and cons of driving an EV as a taxi. This was our first time in an ID.4, and we really enjoyed the experience. Norway has some of the best EV infrastructure, but the weather makes it challenging in the winter, especially between the snow and the cold, which can reduce range and make it difficult for any car. Our driver has the ID.3 through her company and has driven it extensively for over 30,000 miles already, despite only having it a few months. Overall, she said she really likes the ride and the driving characteristics, especially being able to quickly accelerate and get more energy in traffic and around the city through regenerative braking. Like so many new EV owners, she mentioned having to get used to this, but once she did, it was great to be able to mostly drive with one pedal around town. The car was surprisingly roomy for us, especially with a family of 5 with 3 suitcases and a stroller. We had no issue arranging everyone and everything for the short drive down to the ferry terminal. The people in the back had plenty of room as well, especially leg room and headroom too, even with my seat back, and said that it felt roomier because of the sunroof. Oddly, despite enjoying the driving of the ID.4, our driver wasn't as positive about EVs overall as I thought they might be, mostly because of increasing energy costs in Norway related to the Russian war in Ukraine. Very nice taxi ride, and our first ever ride in an ID.4. It's very comfortable, although she was saying that one of the downsides is the range, even though it is 500 kilometers or almost 300 miles an hour, or 300 miles. The problem here is in the winter it's so cold that the range goes in half, and that especially for a taxi driver, they're fast charging it so often that it degrades the battery. So range is a big problem with it. And she was also saying that the incentives and like good pricing and stuff are almost non-existent now because since COVID and the economic situation here, electricity is becoming as expensive as petrol was before. So it's not as advantageous to have it anymore, actually. But I asked, why is it still the case that almost every car here is electric? And she said she thinks it's more because it was so much cheaper before, and people all ran to invest in EVs, and now things have kind of not really caught up. So it could be a similar situation in the US, especially like with so much demand right now as people are going for it. I thought it was fascinating to get the perspective of a Norwegian and a taxi driver on what it's like using an EV for business and the concerns that they have. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and if so, please do give this video a like. Please also subscribe if you haven't already to keep getting more EV perspectives soon. I'm going to be doing an in-depth test drive and review of the ID.4, so you don't want to miss any of that. Thanks so much for watching, and catch you in the next one.